Hi everyone, my name is Elliot, co-founder of Mnemonic AI, where we create advanced customer intelligence with the power of AI. Today I tell you a little more about competitor personas and how to use them to create a competitive advantage for your organization. So, wouldn't it be great to be a little mouse trolling through the offices of your competitors, learning about their secrets of success? Well, no, this is not an article to encourage industrial espionage. The goal is to demonstrate how effective competitor analysis is and how to use the insights to boost your business. A competitor analysis should not be a one-time effort, but a continuous process to help stay on top of the market and discover opportunities. But first, here's a quick definition of a competitor analysis. A competitive analysis involves defining, listing, analyzing and evaluating competitors' strategies, methods, behaviors, products, and their customers in a limited market. The aim is to apply the insights to identify the company's competitive advantages and integrate them into your business strategy. So, in general, yes, customer insights are the holy grail. Apart from analyzing their business strategy, pricing structure, distribution channels, staffing, and R&D, understanding their customer base by creating so-called competitor personas is extremely important to achieve a competitive advantage. And this will be the primary focus of this video. Your closest competitors operate in the same industry or region and market similar products or services. At first glance, their customer segments are also similar to yours. Unfortunately, it is not as trivial as it seems. Take the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy as an example. Both are well-known brands with a relatively similar concept, but users' attitude to the other product is usually very radical. I mean, who doesn't know the extensive discussions between an Apple and a Samsung user, right? So this is why it is so essential to focus on customers' attitudes, needs, and emotions when analyzing the competition. Classic arguments favoring one product may not work for the competition's customers. Instead, focusing on the missing or poorly implemented features by the competition might be the way to go. So, creating competitor personas clarify who they are, how they became customers, and why they remain loyal to that brand. Collecting solid competitor research data is the biggest challenge of creating profound competitor personas. But the same thing applies to your own personas. But no matter what, they should always be 100% data-driven. And this also applies to your competitor personas. But a little more on that later on. So competitor personas will provide the vehicle to structure and bundle the insights to make them tangible. A comparison between your own and competitor personas will uncover areas for improvement. So, maybe one thing at this point, it's very important to pre-screen the market. Analyzing every competitor will be overwhelming. So find the most important one for your business, pre-screen the market by collecting general information such as the company size, locations, number of employees, and history. Look at the strategic concepts such as investments and market shares. With insights about product strategies, planned articles and suppliers, you will quickly define who the closest competitors are. This basic information is available on mediums such as the Federal Statistical Office and portals such as Statista, or industry associations and directories, company databases such as Crunchbase, or even the websites of your competitors. Moreover, there is the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy, where there's a lot of information. There are trade magazines of respective industries, of course, as well as trade fairs. So, whereas these data sources are helpful for more a quantitative analysis, we will now highlight the advantages of competitor personas and how qualitative data and sources help to create them. So here's basically a list of benefits of running a competitive analysis with personas. The first one would be understanding the power of brand personalities. You can forecast market potentials and trends. You can uncover market entrance barriers. You can learn from customer or competitor mistakes. You can understand the competitor pricing structure. You can better understand their customer targeting communication, their acquisition, their retention, as well as their overall business strategy. Now let us have a closer look at those different points. So now let's focus on the power of brand personalities. Usually, the most successful companies have a very strong brand personality. If someone is interested in a particular product, they will research those companies first with a strong brand personality, meaning those that they have heard about before. For instance, if you plan to purchase a better fridge, you will instantly think about brands such as Miele or Sub-Zero. One could argue that this is because of the market domination and because they've been around for so long, but this is only partially true. Apart from good quality, their success is because they created a distinct brand personality reflected throughout every marketing and sales endeavor. Identifying the different brand personalities is a way to add qualitative measurement when creating the market overview. You will see these successful brands and their customer personalities match perfectly when you analyze them. So you can compare your brand personality to those with the most influential personality and create guidance on how your own could be enhanced. Another advantage is that you can forecast market potential and trends. By social listening, you identify competitors that increasingly receive more attention, and through topic modeling and sentiment analysis, you understand the reasons behind them. They may have created a strong brand personality, or a new product feature creates more interest and demand. Accordingly, consider including those features in your offerings or highlight them in future marketing campaigns. The next one is uncovering market and entrance barriers. At the same time, by listening to the competitors' customers, you will identify market entrance barriers that could be challenging for your business. Suppose you realize that every customer is exceptionally loyal and appreciates your competitors' features and pricing. You know it is a hard nut to crack and will require a compelling and convincing marketing campaign or an offer they cannot refuse, such as the same or better quality at a much lower price. The next one is learn from your competitors' mistakes. Understand why your competitors' customers are unhappy with the current solution and use it to your advantage. Highlight why your product is better than theirs and why problems like they currently experience will not be an issue when using yours. By monitoring your competitors closely, you identify moments of weakness. If one of your competitors just received a significant shitstorm for being environmentally abusive, this might be the right moment for a campaign highlighting how your products are sustainable. The next one is competitor pricing structure. To compete with other players, your company might decide that lowering the price is an excellent way to win over new customers. Before making that decision, however, evaluate your competitor's client's price sensitivity. You might realize that price is not important and that quality or service is much more important. And reducing the prices has the opposite effect. The customers might suddenly think that your product is of poor quality and distance themselves because of that reason. On the other hand, if you uncover a mass amount of comments or review pages such as, "Hey, I would love to buy the product XYZ, but it was way too expensive and I wish there was a cheaper alternative. I do not even need the features like X and I'm not willing to pay for something I don't need." Well, this indicates an opportunity for your company. The next one I want to highlight is the competitor customers targeting and communication. For every marketing department, the biggest challenge is to find the proper communication and targeting channels, whether PPC campaigns or content marketing. Not all platforms have the same relevance for the company. If a competition's customers deal intensively with the contributions, it is logical that many potential buyers exist on that corresponding platform. So by closely monitoring the communication between your competitors and their clients, you can identify the best performing campaigns, strategies, and postings, saving you time and money and helping create a customer-centric communication strategy. However, caution is advised. It may well be that the respective marketing teams are doing a poor job. This in turn means that your company can quickly attract attention with better marketing communication, thus increasing sales. It also helps to define companies that are using the different channels and how they're using it. It is crucial to understand whether the focus is more on directing potential customers to landing pages to generate leads, or to build and expand brand awareness by publishing visual content, for instance. This offers the opportunity to react asynchronously to the current focus. If the company is more focused on building brand personality, it may be the right time for an aggressive marketing campaign with lucrative short-term offers. So now let's talk about the competitor customer acquisition. Closely related to the section before is how your competitor acquires their customers. Of course, parts of this will be a black box, since you do not have access to the Google Analytics or CRM system. But listening to their clients certainly will provide hints. Be sure that if you sell a relatively common product or service, thousands, if not more, people on the web share their story on how and where they purchased the product, how they use it, and what they think about it. Posts like the following contain valuable information. Let's say, last week I saw an ad on CMM for company XYZ promoting their new product Y. And I thought I'd give it a shot. There was no shipping cost and free return, so I thought I got nothing to lose. I must say, overall, I'm happy with it. However, I'm missing feature Z and the opportunity to combine it with A. It tells you where the company advertised the product, that there is actual buyers, and how crucial the free shipping was for the decision-making process, alongside missing features. Now let's talk about the retention. As existing customers are the best customers because they are likely to spend more on your products and keep your customer retention rate high. With each additional year, their loyalty rises, increasing their lifetime value. In addition, they act as multipliers as they recommend your products to others. For potential prospects, positive customer reviews are of enormous importance. So let's assume you gather comments like, I considered changing from product A to product B, but just before I pulled the trigger, company A reached out to me via email, giving me a loyalty discount and access to additional features like X that helped me to manage Y better. I decided to cancel service X because they increased their prices at the same time. You will understand the competitor's communication method, their offers, and what effect it had on the customers. Conversely, if you read comments like, I decided to cancel service X because they increased the prices and at the same time did not deliver on the promised feature Y. Does anybody know an alternative? They demonstrate the opportunity to highlight your fair pricing and the introduction of new features that are entirely free of charge. So, maybe last word regarding the overall business strategy. It should be clear that running competitor analysis affects the entire business. Marketing cannot promote marketing requested features if the product development team can't integrate them. Sales team cannot promote a 24-hour sales support if the customer care team does not have the resources to do so. Therefore, providing these insights to all departments is important and aligning changes accordingly. The creative personas will guide in setting priorities and define the need changes within each department. So, a quick summary, competitor personas are the vehicle for insights. No matter what you analyze, making the insights tangible is essential for their adoption. Using the competitor personas as the vehicle is ideal since they transport the insights in a human form. Whether insights about pricing, targeting, communication, acquisition, or retention are reflected in the persona features, such as go-tos, needs, pain points, emotions, shall guide every department on the upcoming journey. So, thank you very much. As usual, if you have questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment. If you like the video, leave us a like. If you want to know more, feel free to reach out to us over our website, mnemonic.ai, and I'm really looking forward to talk to you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.